In today's episode, we're talking about the shocking lack of Rolex watches on celebrities' wrists, Louis Vuitton becoming a serious watchmaker, and much more. So let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is Jenny, and I know from my own experience how hard it is to keep up with the news and watch news especially. So to make life easier for you, I filter through all the blogs and websites to bring you the most important watch stories and releases of the past couple of days. So lean back, turn up the volume, and let's get you updated. So first, we're going to take a quick look at this year's Met Gala watch highlights. The Met Gala, formerly called the Costume Institute Benefit, is the annual haute couture fundraising festival held for the benefit of the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute in Manhattan in New York. The Met Gala is popularly regarded as the world's most prestigious and glamorous fashion event. It's kind of the watches and wonders of the fashion world. According to the BBC, the Met Gala's theme is usually connected to the Costume Institute's latest exhibition, which this year is called Superfine Tailoring Black Style. It is inspired by Monica L. Miller's book on slaves to fashion, Black Dandyism and the styling of Black diasporic identity, which was published in 2009. And the dress code is tailored for you, which is a reference to the suiting and the menswear which features in the exhibition. In fact, this is the first Met Gala in more than 2 decades to focus exclusively on menswear. So I have picked out a couple of highlights for you. If you want to see all of the outfits and watches, I will have a link for you down below, which you can just click through. So yeah, first I really did not expect to see, but oh my gosh, I love it so much, is a Philadelphia Eagles player, Saquon Barkley, who is wearing a variant of my favorite Moser watch. It is an Endeavour Tourbillon Concept Vanta Black. Vanta Black is the blackest, most darkest color we currently have because it absorbs so much light that, rarely any gets reflected back. And if you're staring onto something that is painted in Vanta Black, it is like staring into a black hole. The watch goes for $82,000, I believe. The case is made from white gold. It is powered by the in-house HMSC 804 movement, I believe, and it has this stunning tourbillon at 6. I have already reviewed a Vanta Black Moser watch. I will link it for you down below if you want to watch the full Vanta Black goodness. Absolutely love it. I think it is a beautiful watch and a great choice for the outfit and the occasion in the evening. Then we have musician Pusha T, which I'm not very familiar with, who is wearing one of the very few Rolexes of the evening, and the only reason I'm mentioning this is because it is my absolute grail watch and I just could not do it. He is of course wearing a Rainbow Daytona from Rolex. The bezel is entirely decked out in sapphires, which were all handpicked to result in this perfect color match, so you get the smoothest rainbow gradient possible. And I have to say, you cannot convince me that there are any other watchmakers around that get the sapphires to match as perfectly as Rolex does, which is also why this one has a price on request price tag, because sourcing and putting together these perfectly matching sapphires is pretty difficult and tricky, which makes this watch not super rare, but rare. And it is just very difficult for them apparently to set a price tag to that. Oh yeah, and lastly, I want to highlight what the musician Shaboozey wore. Again, someone I'm not very familiar with, but he had a great outfit on. Some argue that he was even the best dressed of the whole evening, but I'll leave that to the fashion experts, which I'm not. Yeah, but either way, I really liked it. And what I enjoyed even more was the fact that the watch was really incorporated into the outfit and didn't just look like, some kind of nice to have accessory or just something you would put on because, menswear and watches go together. But it was really an important part of the entire outfit, as you can see. You would think that this could be a vintage piece because, stone dials are as 70s as it gets, but it is actually just a couple of years old. It is rather small. It is a 37mm. It is a Royal Oak from Audemars Piguet in solid yellow gold with a turquoise dial. And I read a really fun, quote from Hodinkee on these stone dials, in particular that turquoise dial from the AP Royal Oak, which was released in I think 2017 or 19. So yeah, as I said, a very new watch. And Hodinkee describe stone dial watches as a type of unify amongst watch enthusiasts, as they, hold the unique middle ground for men and women to confer without some uncalled for battle of the sexes, and the whole discourse and debate of that. And I think it really hits the nail on the head, and I think it is why I believe that this is a really great choice, not only for the outfit, but for the whole theme, and it retails for $61,000. So yeah, not the most expensive of the evening, but definitely not cheap either. So yeah, let me know which your highlights were from the evening. Just like with the Oscars, I think it's just really not my niche, but I always love seeing special watches worn out and about. So give me your favorite watch of the Met Gala in the comments down below. Like I said, I think my favorite has to be the Vanta Black from the athlete, what was his name, Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I think that one was stunning. Love that. And now that we have covered the watches that were flaunted at the Met Gala, we can check out the latest releases of the week. I have to say those high fashion brands like Hermes, Chanel, or now Louis Vuitton have really been pushing it lately. And now Louis Vuitton's watch atelier called La Fabrique du Temps released a new Tambour, the Bushido Automata. There is so much to talk about when it comes to this watch. I honestly don't know where to start here. I'm reading about all the different types of finishings and decoration techniques and all the things that are being used in this, and the symbolism behind the design details just really make my head spin. So I will link an in-depth article about this watch in the comment section down below or in my description box. So if you want to read more about this watch, go to that link. But in short, this is a $835,000 watch from Louis Vuitton that explores the world of Bushido. It is a samurai moral code concerning samurai attitude, their behavior, and the lifestyle. I think I've seen the Wikipedia article, and it is comparatively something close to chivalry, but not really. But that's like the closest Western example that we have to this. So anyways, the samurai mask, for example, on the front is made from white gold and has been coated in 2 layers of red enamel, which, according to an article that I read, is very tricky to get right. So red enamel is one of the more difficult colors to really nail down, and there's some more close-on enamel going on in the eye of the samurai. Basically everything on here and around it has been made by hand on this watch, and Louis Vuitton states that this took over 140 hours of engraving work across the dial, the push piece, and the crown, according to the monochromewatches.com article. And this is just a very, very small piece of info about this watch if you're regarding the whole picture. If you want to read the full story, like I have mentioned, it is linked down below. It is just so crazy detailed, and it would probably take me an hour to get through all of this and to discuss it all and to do it justice. So yeah, go ahead, click on the link if you want to read more about this very special Louis Vuitton watch. Overall, I don't want to obviously downplay this super artistic masterpiece, but this to me is no longer a watch with something like a sculpture or some kind of art piece that you just put up as a part of an exhibition, and not really something that you would wear. Nothing wrong with that, but I really do wonder who's actually going to buy this for the price and just, for the thing that it is. I can see that one just popping up on an auction block in like 50 years from now, and then it will go for some crazy price. But yeah, time will tell. Anyways, I think it's cool, just a bit too much, and yeah, good thing to look at, I guess. And up next, something way more tame, but not less exciting, I would imagine, because Doxa has released one of their fan favorites, the Sub 200, with a shiny new polished steel bezel. The Sub 200 collection is a rather new line from Doxa, with their first watches released in, I think, 2019. But, their entry-level line has quickly become extremely popular to those who are looking for a dive watch with a very balanced, I would say, approach to vintage designs and the technical backing to, be taken serious enough. They've also have pretty early on understood the rising trend, or let's say the demand for colorful watches. So specs pretty much stayed the same. It is still a 42mm diameter dive watch with a tame lug to lug of 46mm. So I would say this one is itty bitty wrist committee approved. This new polished steel bezel variant has more markings than the sapphire insert alternative that we've known from before. So looks wise, I would say that this makes the biggest difference between these two, depending on whether or not you want a more technical look with a more markings, or you prefer cleaner, more calm layout with less markings on the bezel. If you want to go extra shiny, you can choose the green dial, since this is the only one out of the 8 that have been released with a sunburst dial. The rest is just matte. Oh, and before I forget, on a little side note, not sure if you're feeling me on this level, or if you think the same, but I always love it so much to see how watch brands describe the colors, or how they just name them. Nomos is very famous for giving their watches some fun color names, and I think Doxa does not disappoint in that department either. So, for example, they've got it's just a matte black dial, obviously. But they have called this the Shark Hunter. So black is Shark Hunter. And for example, the silver dial is called Sea Rambler. So I love her. I don't know. It's just a tiny little like side note. I always check if they have special names for the color. I think Rolex is very disappointing in that department. I mean, they have the candy pink, or sometimes they call these things like lavender, or yeah, love the color names. Anyways, going off on a tangent here. You can get it on a steel bracelet, an NATO strap, or a rubber strap. And they start out at just below $1,000, depending what you choose. The NATO is obviously the most affordable. So this one definitely pulls back a bit more from the, you know, unique sapphire insert bezel sub 200s. But I think it is a nice addition for everyone who's looking for a more, let's say, standardized version of a dive watch for, you know, still a great price. And since they do not replace, but only add to the collection, I don't really see anything wrong with it. It's just more selection, more to choose from. I mean, look at the Speedmasters. We are practically anyways used to being spoiled for choice, which is a great thing, don't get me wrong. And yeah, that is pretty much all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Give this a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. And then I will see you in my next video. Bye!